to show up.
Perfect.
Join. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Hi, Drake.
Hello, everyone.
Hope you're feeling okay today. And let's see, it's 12:05. So I guess we should get going. Let's see. Hi, everybody. It's Rhea. Oh, there it is. I'm going to take a moment before officially starting to write down this awesome resource that Carissa keeps sharing and I keep losing. Okay, system alignment, innovation hub. Yes. And it's technical assistance. Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. So glad that you could join us today. Oh, Drake, I was just reading your comment, Drake. I'm so sorry. Glad you're here. So hi, everybody. Welcome to the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Subcommittee of the Oregon Consumer Advisory Council. I'm Rhea. I co-facilitate this group, but usually Marquita is the one steering the meetings. But I'm gonna do my best today. And I see Isaiah's joining, yay. We'll just do really quick introductions, go around, name pronouns if you'd like to share them, and where you're calling in from and your connection to this work. And we'll pick people after we're done introducing ourselves. So hi, I'm Rhea. I use she, her, and they, them pronouns, and I am happy with either. I'm in Portland, Oregon. I'm a peer wellness specialist. I'm also a member of the Oregon Consumer Advisory Council. And I will choose Barb. Can you introduce yourself next?
Yes, I can. Thank you. My name is Barb Rainish. I use she, her pronouns, and I am calling in or zooming in from Multnomah County, Portland, Oregon. And I am not a member of OCAC, but I learn a lot when I come to these meetings. And I'm going to call on Carissa.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carissa Bishop. I use she, her pronouns, but also okay with they, them. And I am a person with lived and living experience, which Barb, I'm gonna throw that in there for you too, because I'm sure you would have said that, but not to speak for you. But I'm also
Thank
like,
you.
yeah, of course. And I'm also like Barb, I'm not on the committees or anything officially, but as a member of the public and yeah, as I mentioned, person with lived and living experience, it's nice to find a space that we're so welcomed in and that we can learn from and share. And it's really welcoming to be here. So thank you all. I'm sorry, I didn't pick. Let's go, Drake.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, since Marquita isn't here, that the committee that was putting together the applications, the Dev committee, was going to bring a motion to the larger council to drop in the equity lens definition to the application, because we still haven't had time to fill out that part of the application other than what the work that Luke has already done. So we were just trying to get permission so that any application wouldn't be delayed any longer, but could still have that component in it so that people making their applications would be aware. And that's something that we might want to put on the agenda here, but it's already kind of been voted up to the regular council and can be examined there also.
Thanks, Drake. I think, this subcommittee has voted on the equity statement, and I think it's coming to the full council in the December meeting to vote on the full equity statement. And then the council, I think, can choose to use that however they want to use it.
Yeah, this was just to be inserted into the application because the application doesn't have any stuff besides what Luke's been putting in there. So this was a way so that we could get the applications out before having another 2 meetings.
Well, I mean, just as a point of order, I know we're not in the business portion of the meeting yet. We're just in the introductions. How about just hang on to that for a second, Drake, and then we'll come back to it so I can be clear about what needs to happen. So that was Drake. Hi, Drake. Isaiah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Rhea. I'm Isaiah Mitchell. I use he, him pronouns and his, and I'm a person with lived experience. And yeah, I'm also a co-chair of the development committee, and really happy to make it. I just seen Rhea's email about this meeting, and I was about to miss it, to be honest, but I'm glad I checked my email and I'm here. So thank you.
Yes, thank you again. And my apologies for part in that. And thank you again, Rhea. We just had Luke jump in and another person. Welcome, Luke.
Luke, would you like to introduce yourself? Maybe that's not Luke. I don't know. Is that Luke on the phone? Okay, we'll come back. There's somebody with a name. Hi, you just came on camera.
Everyone.
Hi.
This is Shara. Good to see you again. Hi. Yeah, I just wanted to stop by. It's my lunchtime, so I just wanted to stop by and be around for a while. Good to see you all again. Thank you.
Yay, thanks for joining us. Let's see. Maria, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Mireya Williams, she, her, ella. I am the manager for the Behavioral Health Metrics and Committee, and myself and my team support the Behavioral Health Committee, and also I am supporting the ORR team and the council. I'm so happy to be here with you all today.
Thank you so much for being here. And Kendall.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, what do you need me to do? Anyway,
Introduce yourself. Who are
introduce
you?
myself. My name is Kendall Burns and I use she, her pronouns. I'm a person with lived and living experience, and I work in the Office of Recovery and Resilience as the peer run respite coordinator. Yeah, wonderful to be here today. Thank you.
Awesome. And I'm going to come back to the person on the phone if you would like to introduce yourself, if you're able to do so.
Hi, yeah, this is Luke. I called in on another phone. Some of the meetings that we have are set up to allow participants to come in unmuted, and that works with this really lame device that they have on this new unit. So I had to call in with the ability to unmute myself, because that's how the settings are in this particular meeting for DEIB. I'm so glad to be here with you folks, though. Today's been a really full day for me, and Luke Walters, also known as Luke A. Shooting Star, showing up as he, him, and his today. Very, very full of some enthusiasm, but identifying as kitty cat too, because feeling kind of fluffy and marvelous, but not without some harrowing ride to reach here. So glad to be with you. I've got some good news that I can share later, or just briefly right now, whichever way is fine with me.
Thanks, Luke. Yeah, let's do some announcements.
Cool.
if you want to go ahead and do that now.
Okay, yeah, I'll just make it real brief here.
Yeah.
I was able to connect with Mickey Scodby Jones, who's developed the invitation to Brave Space. And although she's not interested in focusing on that work anymore, she's moved on to other things. She's really interested in what we're doing, and she's very excited about participating in our process and being part of making the equity lens happen and stuff like that. She wanted to be here today, but I don't think she was able to fit it into her schedule. But she's definitely going to be here in the near future. And I did ask her how much her time would be worth to participate with us, and she's interested in giving us the answer. She's just not sure what we need from her yet. So we'll get together. That's good news. Yay.
Awesome. Thanks for making that connection. And just so we're clear then what her time is worth, is that we're pursuing as a committee the potential of hiring this person to help us with our equity work?
I think that was the interest. There's
Okay.
been some organizations that have been explored about bringing
Yeah.
in to help us with that heavy lifting process.
Yeah.
So she's just
Yeah.
one possibility. Yep.
So that's great. It sounds like maybe if you want to pursue that connection more, then we could have make sure that she's invited to come and present to our committee or even to the full council. I don't know. Yeah. Let me know how I can support you in that, Luke, and thanks for making that connection. Okay, so next is our, oh my goodness gracious, meeting minutes. Yes, meeting minutes. I have them up, Kendall. If that is helpful, I can share them, but it looks like you
Is
are on it.
it? Yeah, wait, am I sharing the right screen?
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Okay,
We can see
good.
them. If it could be a little bigger though. It's kind
Okay,
of,
perfect. Let me make it
yeah.
into actually one page.
Yeah.
And let me make this bigger. It's
Awesome.
sharing the correct screen.
Yeah, I can see
okay, good.
November 8th was the last meeting.
Okay.
So people that were in attendance, for those who can't see the screen, Drake, Luke, Marquita, Laura Rose, Isaiah, JD, as OCAC members. And then, oh, and Luke, I said Luke and Marquita, didn't I? I think so. Barb was here, Maria, Walter, Kendall, and Sharmali from OHA. And moving down, last time, we did the meeting minutes, approved those, and then there was the awesome vote on the beautiful statement that has been collaboratively created by this committee. So just mentioning that. And then that statement is actually going to be at this next full council meeting for vote. And that is on the agenda. So hopefully everybody can come to that so we can vote on it as a full council. And I think that's about it. Marquita to add the OCAC application review to the next DEIB committee agenda. So first off, we need to approve these minutes. So, and then we can move on to our next points, especially the action steps that we are aware of.
I move. I'm going to move.
Thanks for
that we
moving,
approve these
Luke.
minutes. Yes.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Isaiah. Anybody, everybody can put a green check mark in their box if they're voting yes, or say yay. Luke, I'm going to assume you're a yay since you moved.
Right.
And anybody abstaining or saying no. All right. I think we have Isaiah and me and Luke and Drake are the yays. And I think that's all the members that are here. So there we go.
You make these
Okey-doke.
meetings fun, Rhea. You're so good at what you do. I appreciate you. And effective.
And
thank
then,
you.
wait.
Okay, so thank you for that, Kendall. And now we move on to public comment. Here are 5 minutes available to our glorious members of the public if they have anything that they want to mention at the beginning of the meeting, and we will have a chance for you to speak at the end of the meeting as well, even though when I facilitate, you know that you can really talk whenever you want to. Any members of the public have anything that they want to say at this point? Cool. All right. So now I don't think we need this shared, Kendall. Right? Do we? I don't know what that was actually. That was like old.
No, it's just the one that I sent out
Oh,
for this meeting that has, so I was just sharing it so that people could see uh the documentation of who's attended.
oh, okay. Thank you, Kendall. Okay, so there was an agenda item, an action item on the last minutes that was regarding what Drake was bringing up, which was looking over the development committee, the application for new members, that there's a request that this committee looks over that application. Am I clear about that? And then the second piece is they want to put, there's a motion to put our statement somewhere in the application, just so people are aware of that. Seems like two different things. And Isaiah, I don't know if you have stuff to add since you're the facilitator of the development committee.
Yeah, I have kind of what Drake was saying. I have my take on what happened in development committee, and I think Luke wasn't able to be there towards the end, but it'd be good to inform Luke of what we talked about and what the motion was.
Please let us know. Go for it.
So I think we moved or Drake motioned. I couldn't motion. Drake motioned that we move the application. I think that we vote in the next full council meeting, that the application gets moved forward and we distribute, with the caveat that we are still going to work towards having the equity lens or something around DIB. But that we basically I think what Drake said was that we maybe put something in there now, and then but basically that there's no more delay with the application. And I think it was actually Marquita that came up with that idea, that we don't delay the application anymore, that we need members. So yeah, I think that's supposed to be voted on in the next full council.
Great. Thank you, Isaiah, for that recap of all those events. And then Luke, you have your hand up.
Okay. I wanted to give you the perspective that I have after putting a lot of work into the application and drawing the best of elements from the past two versions and putting them into one. I really appreciated a lot of the personal touches and charm that Nick had in there. Some of the questions were really important from the version that was before Nick's, so I brought those back in there, especially, do you commit to attend at least 5 full council meetings in the year? I think that should be changed now that we do have full council meetings on the opposite months. So I wanted to propose an update, and we could actually do that at the full council meeting too, that we ask people to attend 9 full council meetings in the year, because to say 5 out of the 6 is almost all of them. So to ask for 10 out of the 12 would be appropriate. However, that seems like it's asking a lot. So 9 out of 12 is more realistic. And that would help us to have the quorum that we need at full council meetings to pass things. So I was thinking about that update. And the question about equity, diversity, equity, and inclusion is right above that question. And I'm curious, Marquita, when you said that you wanted the words diversity, equity, and inclusion included in that question. I had put that specifically in a previous version of the application, and somebody removed it recently. It still does ask about accepting cultural, diversity and stuff, but it doesn't have those specific words in there. So I wanted to double check with you and see how you wanted to move that forward. And I'm really glad that we're moving towards this decision. And it was my hope that we could just have a version that we could move forward with to get things running again, and we can improve it as we go. Of course, it's not like we got to finalize it and we can never improve it. We just need something we can work with. So, thank you. Thank you.
So it does sound to me like some of those questions are for the full council to discuss. My understanding was that the requirement for attendance has always been half the meetings, which was 3 out of 6. My understanding is also that the strategy and planning meetings, which now happen on the off months, are not required meetings. They were added, and they could not be added as required meetings because those of us who joined, we did not have that as a requirement for membership when we joined. So that's a big topic that I think we could discuss at the full council meeting if necessary, but that's not really the business of this subcommittee. So what the business of the subcommittee is there was a proposal. I'm just going to kind of summarize my understanding and then I have a suggestion for it. There was a proposal that we really needed the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Subcommittee to look at the application for new members so that we could apply the framework that we're working on to that application and see if it's upholding the framework that we're trying to create within the whole council. That's a brilliant and beautiful idea and important and should happen at some point. I don't believe that the subcommittee's work is at a point at which we have a full understanding of how we will do that. The process, the whole council, I don't think fully understands yet what our process will be moving forward to try and ensure that we are making our decisions and making our processes be fully informed by the principles of diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility, and belonging. We have a statement, a beautiful statement that has been made. That's like a first step. And I think there's a lot more work to be done. And the reason that I'm saying that is that I don't think that this work is simple enough to jump in without a really clearly defined process of how. So I don't think, my perspective is we do not have that yet. So therefore, we can't bring an application to this subcommittee for approval, for the stamp of approval or whatever it looks like of diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility. We don't have that process yet. So I feel like that's asking us to do something that we don't have the tools for yet. That said, it does sound like what maybe one suggestion is, because also we don't want to hold up the application. We need to get it out there. And of course, it's a living document that we can continue to work on as needed. But to get that application out there, it sounds like there's a suggestion that we have this beautiful statement that has been created by the subcommittee accessible to new members, and maybe have them like initial something like, I read this statement and I can agree with it. Something like that, right? That this information, the statement that we've created is being put out to prospective members, because that is an important first step, right? And making sure like, hey, this council is working on this topic. We want to make sure that new members can also work towards this goal that we have as a council. So that could look then, like I said, that could look like getting the application out there, making the statement available to new members, and maybe just saying like, it sounds like maybe Luke, there is a question on there, or Isaiah, there is a question on there that says, hey, yeah, I can agree to I'm not even clear about the wording. I commit to striving to uphold these principles if I become a member of the council. So what do people think about that? Thoughts, more information? It's open.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know if I was on mute or not. The gist of that question is, the council is supposed to represent a very wide diversity of Oregon communities, and we're not supposed to be an exclusive club. We ask that prospective members are open to learning about new communities and being accepting of cultural diversity, and we ask for that willingness to grow and have that culture. And then it very clearly asks yes or no.
Okay,
It's pretty simple. Yeah.
great. So that work has happened to create that question and have that included in another subcommittee. The question before this subcommittee is, from my understanding, rather than approving the application, which we don't have a process to do in terms of saying this is past a process of ensuring diversity, equity, inclusion. We don't have that process yet, so we can't do that with the application. But hopefully we can do that at some point. My understanding is the question before this subcommittee right now is, do we just want to have the equity statement that has been created to be included in that application so that we can move the application forward and vote on it at the full council? Drake, your hand is up. Drake, if you are trying to speak, you are not off mute.
Sorry about that.
There you go.
My particular suggestion, because of the way that Luke framed the cultural issues, is that if we put it in there as a affirmative statement, you know, these are the principles that the council operates by, and without having to make it part of the questions at this point. I mean, there are equity questions that can be asked that can give you detail or, you know, some sort of assurance that people understand what's going on. But the equity statement itself, that should be a positive value that's in the application. Like this is what the council lives by. And
What we're trying to live by.
we hope, okay, affirmative statement assumes what we're trying to do. But the idea would be to let people know that, and then at that point, fill that out with whatever detail you want to get out of the questions at some point when that has been developed, which this committee is supposedly, from Marquita and other points of view, I think is supposed to help with the development of the application language, like kind of like we're doing now. So I don't know about that process, but that's the reason the thing is coming up, to make sure that everybody's okay with whatever form the application does go out by. Because it's been a while. We have not put out an application for, I don't know exactly when the last members were at it, but it's been quite a bit of time. So
2023, spring of 2023, I believe. So again, I'm just going to say this committee does not have a process set up, nor are we prepared at this point to look over the application and give a stamp of approval if that's what's being asked of us. I also just have to say that saying these are the principles, I have an issue with these are the principles that the council lives by when we have not done the work to see if that's true yet. That's just that's me speaking as Rhea and not as like a facilitator of this council. We don't live by those principles yet, and I believe that it is not okay. I think it's okay to say, this is what we're working on. And we really are trying to change the system so that we are living by these principles.
That's
But
fine.
I
That's
have a
really good.
concern about saying, this is what we're doing, inviting people who hold marginalized identities into the group, and then have them be experience acts of exclusion and microaggressions and things that do not make them feel safe when we said, please, we want you here. So I'm just speaking my concern about that. I think if we want to put forth a proposal as this committee to include the equity statement, the beautiful equity statement that's been created, and say, here's what we're working on, and we hope that you want to join us in this work. That seems great.
That's totally fine language. I was not trying to
Yeah.
cement the language in, so that was just a suggestion as to how to state it.
Yeah. But I'm just trying to separate too, like, we're not approving an application that says, yes, this has been vetted carefully through an equity lens. We haven't done that yet, but let's include that. It sounds like let's include the equity statement
How
in the
about this idea?
application.
How about this idea? That question, the gist of the question that I just shared with folks, how about if we simplify it even further and just ask in the application if people can look at the equity statement and initial that they've looked at it, or just
Yeah.
check, yes, I've looked at it. Because the wording of the current question is simple, but it does state that we do have a cultural like standard and values. And so if you object to that, then I can respect that, and maybe like the compromise will be just asking if you've looked at the equity statement. And we have the introduction to being on the council with some information. We have the application itself, and if we have the third component, which was the equity statement, then we could ask people to look at that and initial or say that they've looked at it, and that could be simple. And I want
Cool.
to add just briefly that if you reference Nick's application, it goes into the cultural piece much more thoroughly. I toned it down quite a lot, actually. He's laid it on thick with this area. And so I think I wanted to ratchet it back and come where you're coming from, Rhea, a bit more. And I think that we're getting really close to that space, and I'm really happy about our process. Thank you.
Thanks, Luke. Yeah. My point is just that I don't think that this committee is here. I don't think we're set up to vet this application. I think that work has been done beautifully in another subcommittee. We were asked to look at it as a subcommittee. We're not set up to do that yet. Let's add. So can somebody put forth I'm going to say my understanding of a motion that somebody may want to put forth is that we include the equity statement that was drafted by this subcommittee in the new application, and have a little box that people can check to say, yes, I have read this statement.
I second that motion.
I don't know if I put forth the motion. Is that okay for me to do? Okay, great.
It's everything that we was discussing and
Welcome,
developing.
Marquita. I'm glad you're
Hey, everybody.
I support it. I second it.
Yeah.
okay. Great. So if that seems okay with you, if you'd like to vote for that, we'll include the equity statement in the application with a little box that says like, yeah, I've read this. Is that okay? Okay. Great. It looks like all the members that are here have voted yes for that.
Yeah, thumbs up.
All right. Great work, everybody. Love this conversation. Marquita, your hand is up.
Yes. Sorry I'm late, you guys, in the middle of traveling. Are we still gonna ask a question of like do maybe a multi-question choice of how familiar individuals are with DEI? Maybe have a few options of not familiar, somewhat familiar, a little familiar, a lot familiar. I thought that it would be nice to just see how familiar people are with it. And if they are familiar, maybe leaving a little box if they want to write something in of what they know.
So Marquita, I just want to catch you up a little bit on what I'm not sure when you joined us either, so I'm sorry, but just to catch you up a little bit on the conversation so far, it feels like this committee is not really set up yet to like fully investigate and go over the application process. That's been done in a different committee. And so the point was, what can the subcommittee do? And what we can do is we can say, hey, let's add the equity lens statement to the application so it can get out. But we as a subcommittee are not going to go through the application and add or delete anything other than here's the statement and to say, yes, I read this statement.
Received. This is I'm shocked that it's even being talked about because it wasn't supposed to come over to the DEIB committee because we voted on it in development committee to just be sent to full council.
Yeah.
But
And
when I tuned in, you guys were talking about it, so I just thought I'll ask the question that I asked in development committee, but Luke had already left.
Yeah.
And so that's why I asked it.
Yeah. So we've done the business that we can do. The reason it came up is because Drake brought it up, and it was also an action item from the last agenda that we were supposed to look at. So that's why we looked at it and we did it. And I think now we can move on to the next topic if that's okay. But I think, Luke, you have your hand up.
Just to add, before you arrived, Marquita, I did state to the committee that I attempted to enter into the application wording your request to have the specific words diversity, equity, and inclusion. Are you familiar with this? Yada, yada, yada. And it was taken out when somebody added the updated application version, which is the most recent one. So they took that question out, but I tried to fulfill your request, and we can look at that in the future. But like Ray is saying, we do need to get an application out, and we can update it as we go. So.
Oh no, it's okay.
That.
We talked about it in development. I'll just follow
Thank
up
you.
in full council.
Awesome. Thanks,
Thanks.
everybody. So the next item on the agenda was just but we're kind of like going a little bit over time. Was just like a check-in on how things are going for those of us attending. What I'd like to do is actually do the next thing on the agenda first, and then we'll do like a check out kind of process, if that's okay with everybody. And the next thing on the agenda is the equity lens support possibilities. So we've been talking in the subcommittee about there being a few different places where we could get some additional assistance that we think the full council could really use as we put our attention and our focus to creating a more equitable, inclusive, accessible environment and process and procedure for the full council, right? That's one of the areas that this committee is committed to looking at. So Marquita did this awesome thing and reached out to one organization that is, I believe it's called Espousal. Yeah, Espousal Strategies. And they did respond to Marquita with a letter and also an estimate of the cost of their consultation services. So Marquita, I'm not sure if you want to speak to that or if you want me to share the letter. I know Marquita's traveling, so it's also kind of hard maybe for her.
You can just share it. I'm trying to get into the airport. Sorry.
That's okay. I can share the letter and talk about it. Boop-a-doo, here we go. I think I can share. There we go. Can you all see that? So Marquita reached out to them and asked about the work that they do and like kind of just getting information about what they could provide and what they do in advancing evidence-based diversity, equity, and inclusion training, strategic planning, needs assessment, equity lens development, implementation, program evaluation. So they provide this full, very comprehensive package. And I'm just gonna, and then they outline a little bit about what that looks like, point by point. And we can make sure to share this with the full committee. I'm just kind of giving an overview. And then they gave an estimate for how much the full package would cost and the methodology, what would it look like? This is a very thorough process. They go through all the stages, the kickoff, the needs assessment, equity lens development, ongoing facilitation support, training that they provide. And then there's a little bit about each of the staff members that are a part of this. This just seems like an incredible organization. The things that they offer, amazing. I don't know whether it's possible when we look at the cost of this. This is $150,000 for the full package. I'm not sure if they would, because this is just the very first like exchange of information around this. I'm not actually sure if they're also like, maybe we could do this piece. We could help you with this piece. I'm just not sure what's available. So, let's see. Luke, I see your hand is up and I'm not sure if it was up from last time still.
Oh, I'm going to lower it, but I also wanted to point out that there was some news about Mickey Scott B. Jones that I shared at the beginning that Marquita wasn't able to hear.
Oh yeah. Yeah, about having her also as a potential person to offer support with this work. And Luke has reached out and made contact with them, and we're waiting just to see like what the next steps will be. Marquita.
Yeah, I didn't catch y'all. I think I came in at 12:30 something. That's perfect. When I had them put up the proposal, I told her I wanted to see kind of what a package would look like, because they had some other things like group facilitation, trainings and things like that. But also separation, because our main focus right now is trying to get support with learning to create the equity lens.
Yeah.
So nothing is set in stone. I tried to reach out to the individuals that Carissa had, but it was like I had to put in a request for them to contact me. And I just got off a vacation. So all information is welcome, because like you mentioned, Rhea, we don't have the funds for this. Is pretty expensive. So yeah.
Yeah. And definitely not for the full package, but I mean, my take on it is, I don't know. I think we have like a good amount of ARPA funds still left. And I'm like, I think that this is really important work. And I think it's really important that it be done by people who know what they're doing, who like, this is what they do, you know? And like, if we wanted to see if they could do like needs assessment and recommendation, that piece of it, right? Or that piece and some training, or, you know, I think that it would be worthwhile, in my opinion, to see, is there a piece of this that would be the best suited for where we are as a council? And also, what does this council need to create the processes and the structure and the practices that will benefit the council well into the future, regardless of who are the specific members? Because that's really what I'm interested in doing, like creating a culture
Yes.
that has a structure built in where it's like, it doesn't matter. I mean, of course, each one of us matters, but it also doesn't matter because we come and go, right? And the council itself is the thing that lives on, right? The members, we filter in and out. So I think it's worth it to invest in getting an organization who knows what they're doing to help us build that structure that will benefit us well into the future. So maybe we can reach back to them, Marquita, and just say, hey, what about this? I don't know. What do other people think, though?
If I may invest in excellence.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
I'm going to wait for public comment. This is Carissa Bishop.
You don't have to.
Hi, Carissa. Cool. Yay.
I don't know. I like you. I really value your input, Carissa. So I see in the chat that you said that the SAIH is free. and it's made for this, to build our capacity to build power. And so Marquita did reach out to them and is just waiting to hear back from them about a request to find out more.
And I can tell you they are at an in-person conference this week for sure. They canceled our usual monthly meetings. And yeah, the cool thing about them is, so they're doing something for their grantees, but they open it up to everyone, whether you're funded or not. But if you guys want more information, check out the lived experience or the council. Oh God, now I can't remember, but it's like the Council on Lived Experience or something, or no, the Lived Experience Coalition in Washington State. And if I can find the link for their website, I'll put it in the chat. But if you guys want, those are peers that you can actually talk to, a coalition. So it's a similar, type of group. And so they could give you firsthand knowledge of being a grantee for them.
Awesome.
But just being someone who's not a grantee and building my organization, they actually do, and all of it's free. You get to go to their monthly community power building network, be part of a big network that's a national network. And then there's learnings during that, and we learn, there's also different learnings throughout the year on literally how to create logic models, just all the stuff that I literally learned in graduate school that they're teaching people. They want to teach people and to build the power of our communities. So and I don't know if I can save this for public comment, but I'm opposed to you guys spending any state dollars on that, because there are resources available there, and I know I'm kind of biased, but I can tell you I don't have any funding from them. I have no relationship with them other than having been going through what I went through 2023 and beyond. Like, I mean, it has been a support system for me personally and professionally. And I am just so excited to get you guys linked up. And I really would hate to miss the opportunity. And I totally get it. You guys do what you want, but I'm telling you, like, from the bottom of my heart, this is the perfect match for you. Like, you could not find a better organization, or maybe this is even just funding for them that they're getting a short term, right? I don't know. But the whole point of it is to build our capacity so that, we can teach other people, and we can, they do train the trainer stuff, and they actually will assign you guys a coach. So for example, Marquita, if you wanted to work with one of their coaches, they would teach you everything and help you hold your hand along the way or whatever, you know what I mean? Everything you need to do this work. And they'll even come to meetings, help facilitate, all that.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Carissa. I really want to try and make that connection happen to see if that's something that we could use. Marquita.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, Carissa. And if you're able to reach out to them to get in contact with them sooner, that's even better. I think at this point, it's gonna be probably first come, first serve. If we can afford it, we will pay for it, because there's a lot of things that is being held up without us having an equity lens. Like, we still need to go over our bylaws. We still need to enter some DIB stuff into the bylaws. And like Luke said, with the application, it was holding up things because we were supposed to go over the application with the. So I think if you could get in touch with them sooner so we can kind of get the ball rolling with that, that would be perfect. I'm not biased against anyone. I just know that me personally, and I'm going to speak for the council, and I think that everyone who has attended the DEIB subcommittee, we all need support with creating this equity lens and learning, how to use it properly as well. So that's just where I'm at with it. But I'm not biased. I hear your passion, and I would love to talk with them, honestly. And I appreciate presence here.
Oh, we're losing your sound a little, Marquita. Okay. We can't hear you anymore. And we're gonna move on, I think, to public comment, if that's okay.
I suppose I'll just say to respond, Marquita, thanks. I'd be happy to. And look, this gives you, the guy gave me his cell phone number. Okay. So they really are supportive. Okay. So yeah, if you want, I'll happily personally reach out. I have it written down somewhere, so I have to find it, but hopefully I will. And otherwise, I just wanted to check, Marquita, if you did not do the TA request yet. I could potentially just do it for you guys or just do another one. I just wanted to get some more insight on that.
Marquita, it looks like got dropped
Okay.
off the call, but I heard her say, I put in a request
Okay.
to get more information is what it sounds like. So, but we'll follow up
Yeah.
on that. Oh, Marquita's joining again. Yeah. So Marquita, there was a question. It sounds like you put in a request for more information from the Innovation Hub. So yeah, so we'll keep working on that. I do want to pause for a moment and say, yes, this is our meeting allotted time for public comment. If any members of the public have anything that they haven't been able to share so far that they would like to share, this is your time. Okay. Barb. Oh, no Barb. Barb?
Barb will do it. I just basically have a question, and it's not directly a DEIB question, but I'm wondering if you guys have like a matrix that you use to score your applications. And I would think that if you did, that might be where this committee might have a role in terms of like based on weight.
Mm-hmm.
That might be helpful before they get the lens up and running. And I also think that people might be a little bit confused between an equity statement, which I take as being like, this is what we stand for kind of thing or intend to do, and an equity lens, which is usually a handful of questions that you ask, and I feel like no good at doing that, but I've sort of been around it trying to learn it.
Yeah.
So that was it for public comment.
Yeah.
Oh wait, one more thing. Sort of to Carissa's comment about spending state money. I actually was thinking the other way around, that I was thinking about it, and unless you're contracting with a group that's very benevolent and doesn't charge people at all, like the one Carissa's suggesting, groups usually want to screw the state in terms of, I think that the message that this is a small group within the state might be lost, and might just appear that this is the state asking for a price quote to do those things, which is, kind of different. And as peers, we're sort of set apart, but everybody doesn't know that. So those are all my thoughts.
Yeah, so I'm taking that to mean that we should be very clear when maybe we're connecting with these places too, to say we don't have a pot of money available to us. The only reason that we do at this moment is a very special circumstance, but we're actually pretty much a volunteer council. Thank you for those comments, Barb. I appreciate the differentiation too between a statement and a lens, and my understanding is also similar to that. We have just 2 minutes left in our meeting today. My understanding of the action steps are we're going to keep on looking for the connections and the resources that we want to see how we can make available to the subcommittee and to the full council, in making sure that this process happens in a way that is very well facilitated by people who know what they're doing and can help us create the practices and the structures that we want to see in the council moving forward. That feels like the big action step that we're going to continue to work on. How's everybody doing? Isaiah's good, thumbs up, great. Other people, how's it going? Anybody need anything? Barb's thumbs up, Marquita's a heart, Carissa's a thumbs up, Morea's a thumbs up. Cool. Awesome. I appreciate you all so much. Kendall, thank you for hosting from ORR today. Thanks everybody for showing up. Thanks. Take care of yourself, Drake. And we'll see everybody at the next meeting that we see everybody else at. Oh, and I was going to mention one last thing, this little announcement. Laura Rose is actually going to be presenting about Pure Galaxy in the Mind Freedom webinar that's happening right now. She's going to be talking about advocacy and grassroots organizing in the Mind Freedom lecture webinar, which is happening right now. So just wanted to let everybody know that because that's really exciting too. So
You have
just
the
like
link? Sorry. Can you
I knew I was going to be asked that. If you hang on, I can probably find out really quick. Just a sec.
I am trying. Hopefully it will paste.
Here it is.
Up.
I think.
Let's hope they're the same.
I believe. Oh. Yeah, we'll see.
Thank
I think.
you.
Yeah. And I'll hang out for a minute so people can copy that link down if you need it. Awesome. Thanks, everybody.